Alright, this is a big video. When I heard this today, hanging out with my friend Jacob, I've never mentioned Jacob. Oh, I actually have mentioned Jacob. He's the one that asked God to kill him all the time. Asked God to kill him, that I could relate to. That guy. I have mentioned him. I was hanging out with him today. Jacob. He told me something that blew my mind. And God knew it would blow my mind. I've never heard this in real life of happening like it did in a movie of Man on Fire. This movie. I've mentioned this movie before. I can relate to it in a lot of ways. But there's one thing in the movie that I never got the full, it never fully happened to me like it did to my friend Jacob. In the movie, he decides to, take himself out, basically, with a gun. He loaded it as normal. He pulled the trigger. It didn't fire on himself, basically. It didn't fire. Same thing happened to Jacob. Same thing. A loaded gun. He pulled the trigger entirely. It didn't fire. But here's the crazy part. Later in the movie, that same gun, that same bullet was fired on a different person. And it fired and took that person out. Get what I mean? Same bullet, same gun, fired on somebody else. The bullet tells the truth, you know? Same thing happened to Jacob. He fired that gun at a target later on. It fired just fine. Same thing. If you haven't seen the movie, it's pretty crazy. But that happened to Jacob. I came close to that kind of scenario. Not to the point of completing. I don't even want to talk about it. Came close, but not like Jacob. Jacob fully pulled the trigger, and it didn't fire. That's what I'm saying. Jacob took it farther. He did. And God knew that would shock me. A bullet tells the truth. It wasn't his time to go. And he said ever since then, his life changed. You know what I mean? God did not want him to die. Same. God wanted me to remind me he doesn't want me to die either, even though it's been hard, even still. It's been such a hard walk all these years. I've stayed alive so many years after God blocking my suicide attempts. I've stayed alive so many years after that. It just never ends, you know what I mean? I'm that hated. I am. I'm the most hated person that's ever walked the earth since Jesus. I'm the most hated. You're looking out. Don't let this appearance fool you. I'm the most hated person that's ever walked the earth since Jesus Christ himself. I'm speaking truth. Most hated. Yep. Yeah. It's a fact. That's why life is tough. Always. Always. It doesn't matter. It motivates me. It does. When I get complacent, I get motivated. I'm like, oh yeah. No one else is the most hated. It's an honor. It's an honor to be the most hated on the earth. It is. But anyways, man on fire. That's my friend Jacob. So I'm gonna call him Pyro because of that. Because he's like the movie on Man on Fire. He's a pyro. He's got red hair as well. Pyro. So fired a bullet and it didn't fire. Pyro. He commands fire to not fire. That's what I mean. He's that powerful. So, normal ignition of a bullet firing, Pyro can stop it because he has the power to stop the fire. Yeah, that's why he's Pyro. Plus, I saw a picture of him before he before he got saved. He's like smoking a big cigar. He's Pyro, right? Yeah, I think I'm right on the money with that. I was wondering, I'm like, am I ever gonna find Pyro? You know, Pyro's one of those in betweeners. You know what I mean? He's an X-Men, and then he switches to the Brotherhood. You know what I mean? He's an in betweener. He started X-Men, then he switched to Brotherhood. So it's an interesting one of the group. He was, you know, he's on both sides. He's on both sides. So. Yeah, that's an incredible thing. I've never heard that in real life happening. Never. That I saw in the movie till today. God knew that would shock me. A perfectly good gun, a perfectly good bullet, no fire when you pull the trigger. Act of God. That's a huge act of God. A perfectly fine gun that shoots right after, towards a target. Same bullet. That's an act of God. It is. That's an act of God. I've never heard that happening besides that movie. A misfire on a gun, perfectly good gun. Then you shoot it. At later on, it fires perfectly. Same gun, same bullet, fires perfectly. Yeah. Pyro survived the fire, big time. It's interesting that I'm noticing this. The heavy hitters for God all face these kind of scenarios. You know, the enemy wants to take us out by our own hand. He wants us to take us out by our own hand, basically. Because the enemy doesn't have physical bodies. And they can't carry a physical gun themselves. You get what I mean? Satan has no hands. You get what I mean? He can't shoot a gun. Bless his heart. Bless his heart. He can only do trickery. He can only do trickery on TV screens and trickery on your mind. That's all he has. So if you master your mind, you're doing well. So yeah. He doesn't have a physical hand to pick up a physical gun. You got no body. Sucker. But God knows. I'm like barely like scraping by. Like God knows. God wants me to go to these things that cost money. I don't have the money to go to these things that God wants me to go to. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't. Yeah. You know my bank account, God. I can't. Sorry. So this is what he does. This is how God does things. Instead of God just giving me money himself, like I want him to, he doesn't do that, obviously. God will give Pyro a huge bonus at work, which he did. He gave Pyro a huge bonus at work, Jacob, out of nowhere. Even Jacob didn't think he was going to go to this Christian thing. But he got such a big bonus that he's going to go to the thing. And I told him, I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to go. I'm going to see if I can make payments to go on this thing that God wants me to. He's like, don't worry about it. You can pay me back. I'll pay for you. I got a bonus. So I'm like, that's God. That's God. God will do that kind of thing. He'll give someone else a bonus. And that person that God gives a bonus to, he's like wanting that person he gave a bonus to help me out so I can go. You know what I'm saying? Since God doesn't work a job and throw me the money to go. I give God crap about this all the time. I give God crap about this all the time. Ugh. The God of the whole universe can't throw a pile of money on me. The God of the entire universe can't throw some money on top of me so I can go to these things. He has to do it through different ways. Because I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't have the money, God. I don't. I'm sorry. I can't go to these things you want me to go to. Sorry. I guess I'll just witness at the corner for free again for you. I'll just witness for free. With my free t-shirt. With my free stuff, you know. As I go broke. No matter how hard I work, I go broke. So I'm like, God, you work a job too. I'll eat my words. If this new thing that God has me doing takes off, you know, if it does, I'll eat my words. I will. I'll be like, okay, touche, touche, you know. And then I'm starting making money, you know, off this thing that God put in my way. Then I'm like overloaded with provisions all of a sudden off this one thing that God has me selling to different places. I just have this overload of provisions. You know what I mean? I'll eat my words. I'll be honest to the people. If God makes this new thing take off and I get loads of money, I'll eat my words. I will. But until then, I'm limping on. Until they buy. Until they make the decision to buy. If it passed the test. I'm like, this product has to be legit, God. If they're gonna test it, if every place is gonna test it to the maximum, I hope it's legit, God. You know, that's what I'm saying. I hope it's legit. Probably is, you know what I mean? But anyways, he's helping me out. Pyro. Yeah. Man on fire. That's his name. Man on fire. Pyro. He lived the life of man on fire. Same thing. Survived the bullet. He did. He survived the bullet. Pyro did. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I've never gotten to that. I came close. One time. One time I came close. I did. It's no joking, man. Came close, but God stopped it. He did. I didn't make a fool. I didn't pull the trigger fully. I didn't. But God stopped it. For sure. just like he stopped my friend Jacob from doing that. We talk about the tough things on my channel. This is hardcore. It is. It's hardcore. Bishop had the same scenario with a shotgun. With a shotgun, and then someone stopped him from a shotgun. Take himself out. Same thing. All the heavy hitters for God. It seems like we've all faced this death by the gun to our head. You know what I mean? We've all faced this. So seems like that's how hated we are. That's how hated we are. Why can't I just be a loser atheist? Just kidding. Just kidding. I don't have to fight the enemy anymore. Just kidding. They're gonna fight me anyways. Might as well go full force. Full force. Against everybody. Even if the Christians try to take me down. Full force. Full force. No joking around. Only God knows where I'll be tomorrow. I plan my tomorrow before it happens. You know, like right before it happens. No one's going to stop it. No one's going to stop what God's doing. No one. Nope. No one can anticipate where I'll be tomorrow. And that's how it's been every single day. No one's going to stop God's purpose. No one. Nope. The enemy can't anticipate it. They can't anticipate it. They don't know what's going on. They can't read my mind. They don't know what God's telling me what to do or where to go. They can't read my mind. The enemy can't. They can't. Well, the only thing they know is what I voiced openly. But that's not what God's telling me in my mind. See what I mean? See, I can play mess. I can mess with them. Yeah. They'll be like, wait, that's not what he was saying he was going to do. No, but that's what God changed my mind to do. Without me saying anything. You know what I mean? But yeah, well, that's not what the video is about. God being smarter than the enemy. It's not what this video is about. Ugh. Anyways, it's about Pyro. He saw me the other day. He's like, are you at this location right now? I'm like, yes, I'm at that location right now. I'm like, where are you? How are you seeing me? How are you seeing me right now? It's one of the ways God snaps me out of my head. He does. Like, if you see God interrupt me with people in a video, God's getting me out of my head zone. I'm like, oh, hey, what's up? You see that in the videos? Like, oh, hey, what's up? God's interrupting me. He is. Yeah. God's trying to get me less, I don't know. He wants me to be aware all the time. It gets annoying. Always aware, always aware, always aware, always aware, always aware, always aware. You know, I can't be in my own world for 1 second. Not 1 second making a video. Not 1 second. You'll get me anymore. That's another thing me and Jacob talked about. He has his own YouTube channel. All the heavy hitters for God have their own channels. They do. Magneto has his own channel. Pyro has his own channel. I'm like, how's your channel doing? He's like, it kind of peaked. And it just stayed peaked and didn't go anywhere. So he kind of just left it alone. Just did it. He's doing other things. I'm like, that kind of happened with me. My channel just peaked. After that one video took off, it just peaked. And I'm like, same thing happened with me. But I assumed it was God giving me a reprieve. because that increase in subscribers, that was hard. That was so hard. I don't have a team to answer all these subscribers. I don't have a team. It's just me. It was hard. It was. I was taking the onslaught. You know what I mean? It was when I was just entering the Christian world. Like barely entering the Christian world. I was taking an onslaught. It was rough. I knew it would be. God knew it would be as well. So he's giving me a reprieve because after you get saved, it's rough. The warfare is legit to the point where, like, you can't deal with subscribers very much. You can't. If there was like 10,000 subscribers, I'd just be like, you're on your own, folks. You're on your own. Good luck out there in Satan's circus by yourselves. Good luck. If I had 100,000, I'd be saying the same thing. Good luck out there. You know, God has your back. He's with you all the time. He'll never forsake you. God has your back out there. Good luck. You know, I can't help you too much. You know, you guys will do fine. You know, God's with you. If He says He'll never forsake you, He'll never forsake you. You're doing good. But yeah, that's an incredible story that Jacob told me. God knew that would be incredible to me. I've never seen a real life example of that. Surviving a gunfire completely. Not just surviving it. The bullet didn't even move. It didn't even move. It's impressive. If you've never seen that movie, I suggest you watch it. My friend Jacob lived and survived it. That kind of thing. 100%. Very inspiring. Very inspiring. I've seen a lot of things of active gods, you know. I've seen active gods stop an alcoholic from drinking ever again when they said it was impossible. Impossible. I went to so many meetings saying no one can cure an alcoholic. God cured an alcoholic. He did. I've seen it with my own eyes. They lied to me. They lied to me in those support groups. About alcoholism. That there's no cure. But yeah, I'm grateful though. That's what I'll say. I'm grateful. I'll be able to go to this thing that God wanted me to go to. This Christian men's thing. God wants to make me more man. He wants me more to be a man. You know what I mean? A man of God, like a tank. Man of God. No messing around. Not like sometimes joking around. You know what I mean? Anyways, someone's yelling or something. Satan circus outside. You know how it never ends. Satan circus out in this world. It sucks that I'm not invisible. That's another thing. I have to survive Satan circus 24/7. I have to. I'm not invisible. I have to figure out a way. I'm not invisible. You know? That's why I'm like, people that are like just in isolation forever, that's impossible. You're not invisible. You're not invisible. You know? You're part of Satan's circus in some way if you're on the earth. You know what I mean? You go outside for food, Satan circus. 1 second you go outside to get some food, you're in Satan circus. It's that easy. It's that easy. So we gotta find a way to survive and not let it affect us. But I admit I get tired of it. I do. I get so tired and irritable. I'm like, God, how long is it gonna take before you burn this place? I'm serious. I'm serious. How long is it gonna take, God, for you to burn this place? So we have some peace. Some peace instead of this racket, you know. I know, that's me. I'm not God, so obviously I don't love humanity like God does. Not even close. Not even close. But anyways, that's all I want to say, because we found Pyro. Yeah. Speaking of fire, guys, God keeps having me team up with Sunfire. You know, still. Yeah. He was saved maybe like a month or two before I was. Sunfire was. So God had this fresh guy that was just recently saved with me. Well, I'm just recently saved. We're both fresh to being saved. Basically. Enough about that. One of the veteran saved guys, he's like, everyone before their last breath will wish they served Jesus. Before their final breath, they will. And he may be right. So, not serve religion, serve Jesus himself. Everyone will wish that before they take their last breath. If the Satanists are regretting it before they die, everyone will. Everyone will regret not serving the Lord. Everyone will. That's what I thought about today. Like, what's it going to take for people to want to serve the Lord full time? I don't know. Not sure. God knows. Some kid was like, when I was witnessing a little bit tonight, some guy was like, he's like, do you want the rest of my cigarette? I'm like, no. And I'm like, do you want this pamphlet? You know? And it had the cross on it. He's like, yeah, I'll take that. I'm like, nice. So, I see that as a success. I did. I'm like, I quit smoking a long time ago, but I appreciate the offer. And I appreciate you taking that pamphlet for me, my friend. So, like I said, it would shock the crap out of me if one of the people I've handed pamphlets to shows up at church one day where they can show you how to be saved. You know what I mean? That would shock me. You know what I mean? I'm like, whoa. God touched their heart. They read the pamphlet. They took it seriously. You know what I mean? But I know from my own experience, when I was starting to read pamphlets at the beginning, the enemy was interrupting me reading the pamphlets. just reading the pamphlets, the enemy was causing racket and all that. Me and Marvin were talking about it. I'm like, because when I started first reading pamphlets, there was racket, that Marvin put these pamphlets down, and he's like, that's the enemy, you know what I mean? I was hoping they wouldn't, try to stop you from reading it. It's legit. The enemy will stop you from even reading pamphlets about being reborn. They will stop. Just reading. It's legit. It's crazy. That's how much onslaught against it there is. It's true. From my own experience. Before I got saved, the enemy was stopping me from just reading about being saved, just reading about it. It's legit. Anyways, that's not what this video is about. It's about Incredible Pyro. It's about Incredible Pyro of the team. I don't know if he's on our team. He could be Brotherhood. He could be on Magneto's team. So I don't know if he's an X-Men. Time will tell. Time will tell. He's one of those in-betweeners. He is between X-Men and Brotherhood. He's a tweener. He is. Pyro's one of those in-betweeners. Who is he, an X-Men or a Brotherhood? We don't know. But what we do know, he's a man on fire. He's a man on fire. He survived the bullet. The bullet told the truth. He survived the bullet. For the bullet cannot lie. Neither can God. The bullet tells the truth. God tells the truth as well. Yeah. Anyways, it was a good day. God knows I was worrying about this thing that God wanted me to go to that costs money. I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to have the money to go to this. I was worrying about it all day. I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to go to this thing that God wants me to go to. Like, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I have no idea. But God pulled strings. He pulled strings, gave Jacob a raise, so he had money to help me out to go on this thing. I hate owing people money, but oh well. God's will be done. If God wants me to go to it, I'll do it. I'll pay the guy back when I have the money. So, anyways, that's all I want to say for this video. Merry Christmas, alright? Early Merry Christmas. I'm going to this thing. Pyro. Man on fire. I wonder who would win in a firefight. Sunfire or Pyro? Who would win? I don't know. It's tough to tell. They both have red hair. It's funny. That's why I know I named them properly. Sunfire and Pyro. And I was curious about Pyro the other day. A while, like a month ago. I'm like, I wonder if I'll ever find a Pyro. I wonder if I'll ever find Pyro. I was wondering that, but I have found